Okay, welcome back. Shout out to Vida X Forever channel for talking about this film in the comments. I picked this up in a bag of shite. I've done a video in March, but I forgot I had it. I had it set to private, and I made it public the other day. A bag of posh shite. So that's where I picked this up. It was sealed. It is a American disc, not authorized for sale or rental outside the USA. Rated R, even though it's um, a film set in England from an English novel, I believe, um, directed by Cornel Wilde, starring Nigel Davenport. Um, you may have seen him in some old war films and stuff. The only thing I can remember him from is Nighthawks, where he was in that as the guy teaching the counter-terrorist techniques to Sylvester Stallone and Billy D. Williams. But he's very good in this. He was like and he was cast, because I've just watched an hour's worth commentary from Cornel Wilde talking about why he made this film and his views on ecology and pollution and all the effects. Some people say there's better films than this, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, some of the criticisms leveled at it are valid, but I think it's a really strong film, and it's a bit of a sort of like alternative reality for me, because not knowing this film existed and seeing some of the cast, like Wendy Richard pop up. People in the UK know Wendy Richard. Was it Richards? She's not listed on here. I think it's Wendy Richards. But anyway, that's Pauline in EastEnders. But from the 70s, she was in things like Are You Being Served? And she popped up in bits and bobs over the years. And she was a looker. But she was fit, but she had a bit of a weird face, and she pulled these comedic expressions that kind of make her look a bit. She had quite a square jaw, and she can't all this sort of thing. It just So yeah. Anyway, she was in it. Jean Wallace, who is or was Cornel Wilde's wife. Anthony May. There was a girl in it who plays his daughter, and her name has escaped me. It's not on here. I think it was one of her first roles anyway. And there was a scene involving her which was quite rough, a bit exploitative, bit of and so was the motorcycle gang involved. But as he said in this commentary, I'll leave a link down below. You had the mods and rockers kicking off in Brighton, and it was things that were current in the news at the time. And this film was a product of its times, but it's still very relevant today, even more so probably. But I mean, the effects that were going on back then with the crops being infected, the corn crops, and having big economic and food shortage problems are sort of expanded in this film, so it's more global, where it affects the grass, and so if there's no grass, the animals can't graze, and the whole ecosystem fails. And basically, I mean, it is it is very relevant today. I mean, the thing is, all these governments are saying we need to switch to more energy efficient things and electric cars and the way all that's gone. And talked recently about the whole Superman Toyota electric car business. I do think it's a bit of a con, really. I think that the process, these batteries, these lithium batteries, are harder to. I don't. I heard somewhere that they're harder to recycle, or you can't recycle them. They're more environmentally damaging. Charging electric cars, where does the electric come from? Well, more than likely the traditional forms of fossil fuels and nuclear power and so on and so on. Like alternative energies like solar and wind are used more today, but in this era, in the 70s, they're pushing harder and harder for governments to change, which they have changed, but I think they're still as corrupt as ever. And I think it's just you've got organisations like Greenpeace and you know people trying to better the planet, but there's so much corruption involved in those as well. But getting back to this film, I say it is a bit corny for its with the look of the biker gang. You got the biker gangs with the Viking helmets, and even the leader of the biker gang is called the Führer. So it's a bit on the nose, and some of the special effects, like the blood effects, were a bit shit. But yeah, it is kind of an exploitation film, but with a real message, and like a quite sobering message. And the way the director put it was, if you had to put it in the future, in the 2000s, say, for back then, it'd be kind of like a bit of an adventure film, a bit of a post-apocalyptic film, but setting it in the current climate makes it hit home harder. And setting it in England as well was quite cool. For me to see, because it's just like you see the bobbies with the rifles, with the Action Man SLR foul rifles, and it's just like that'd be such a mad concept for an Action Man custom. Just the bobby with the tit on the head and the rifle, and then you got the English Army, sort of martial law, all this sort of stuff going on. People, anarchy breaks out very quickly once. We've seen it before. We've seen it in our lifetimes with rioting, with the petrol shortage. People, even myself, got wrapped up in all that. With the whole virus, and the shops with food shortages, people fighting over pasta and toilet rolls, and the rest of it. I remember during those times, I was going to my Aldi, and I've been after these cakes for ages, and they were out of stock. And when they were finally in stock, it was like Christmas. They've got them. It's like crazy. And in this film, you've got the same sort of rationing system, and in England, you had like they go to this gun shop at one point. And it's like, were guns that easily available back then? The sporting goods shops. I don't ever remember. Maybe there was. Maybe it was a little bit of license there, a bit of fiction. I know farmers have always had access to shotguns and stuff like that, but I don't think in the UK guns were ever that accessible, unless you were doing a blag or something. But yeah, it's a very good film. I'd encourage you to search it out. With the whole coronavirus business, it's got, there's been other films over the years like Outbreak and a couple of others. I can't think of the names right top of my head, but I never knew this film existed. So he's got a great cast. Nigel Davenport. It used a load of local extras from Leeds, wrestlers and referees and farmers and stuff. And you can, well, you know, everyone does a good job in the film. It's not Shakespeare, but it is very well done. The Custance family. I couldn't work out. He was saying custard all the time. Just trying to see if that girl's name was on here, but no, can't find it. But yeah, it is. Yeah, I could see that happening very quickly once law and order broke down and there was no hope. People would just turn on each other very quickly. Yesterday they were decent people, letting their environment die. Now they are savage, killing to keep themselves alive. You know, films like Soylent Green. I don't know if he done that one. I saw something mentioned like Soylent Green, this sort of dystopian future films. Well, I say this one is smack bang in the time period it was made. So, very good. I said I'd never heard of it. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, give it a watch and check out the link down below for the interview. It's about an hour long and it covers, as I say, like the ecology side of things, pollution, all sorts of things. Very interesting to listen to from Cornel Wilde. Check it out. Thanks for watching.